Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to go over the insane amount of profit I made, what exactly I've sold, prices now versus before, and things I learned along the way. With all that being said, let's get into it. But before I do get into it, I do want to let you know that I'm going to have my 1-year anniversary live stream, GMT +3, 5 p.m. And it will be both here on YouTube and on Twitch. I will be revealing my brand new YouTuber model, and I'll be having a giveaway for this streetwear set. So if you want to come over and say hi, I would love to see you there. So I am recording this and of course posting it the day before 6.2 goes live, and it's kind of weird to already be making a 6.2 profit video even before the patch goes out. Now of course I will make another video of things I will sell after 6.2 goes live, but truly the new meta for guild making is not day 1 patch day, it is not max level gear crafting, it is playing smart the week before. Which, when I show you some of the prices of some of these items, holy smokes, did they go up like crazy, and did I make probably the most amount I have made out of every patch that I've gone through so far. But of course, we'll go over everything in just a bit. But first, let's go ahead and look at prices now versus before. And of course, we're starting off with Immutable Solutions. Now, any of the folk that went ahead and bought Immutable Solutions when they were 3 to 4k a pop, you are sitting and looking very pretty, because right now it is 6.8 thousand, which is insane. It went up almost quadruple, well, quadruple, more like double, and a little bit more than double, but it's still a lot. Of course, I started off with 500 of them. I had a lot of items to go ahead and craft more. I think I ended up selling around 1,000 plus, which netted me crazy amounts. So again, this was a win-win in my book, but only into the final week before 6.2 did they really go up in price. I started selling mine when they were at around 6k. I did not expect them to go as high as this is right now. Now, Westward isn't the most expensive server. I see these on Moogle for around 9k, on some other servers for 9k. Chaos actually tends to be a lot cheaper than Light. So this might actually not be even the peak of how much Immutable Solutions are, but of course they did go up in price, and this is a good learning time for us. I was initially thinking that Immutable Solutions wouldn't go so high because of the sheer amount of supply that we do have on the server, but I was wrong, and thankfully I did a bit of a YOLO and stockpiled so many of them. But it's not just Immutable Solutions that went up like crazy, it was also Materia. Now, thinking that the red materials will go up in price like crazy, but I was a little bit iffy on the blue and green materials. Thankfully, I did stock up on a lot of them. I had a surplus for when I was Materia transmuting, so I had a ton, and wow, they are hitting around 30k a piece, and they are being bought out. People are still buying Materia a week before the patch. I don't know what to say, but you know what? I'm thankful for them, because that is how the market goes, and that is how I was able to sell a heck ton. Now, of course, this is Command 10s. What about the others? If you stockpiled on white Scrip materials, you were able to craft a ton of Cunning 7s. Now, Cunning 7s for me was usually steady at 7 to 8k, highs at 10k. Seeing it at 11 is really nice. All you have to do is craft a full stack of 99, easy 1 million right there. It is a lot cheaper to go ahead and get 7s than it is for 9s and 8s. So you're able to get a lot more per 2,000 white scripts. So if you did go ahead and stocked up on white script materials, you feel pretty good right now. But also the Command 9s have also went up in price like crazy, staying steady at 20k, which is a ton for level 9 materia. So if you went ahead and stockpiled on these, you also made a ton of profit. And it's not just blues, it is also greens. Now the Grasp 10s, these were famously the cheapest materia 10 out of the gathering and crafting materials. They were steady at around 2k a piece, now 10k. So if you went ahead and bought stacks and stacks of 99.99, you were able to flip these very nicely. and a lot of people are buying them as well, so you have no issue on selling them out. Guile 10s at around 13k, Guerdon 10s at around 33,000. Wow, that is kind of crazy. And we're gonna go over what I learned in the second to last section, but something I did notice is that the week before the patch drops, the prices go absolutely crazy. So sadly, I sold this 2 weeks before the patch dropped. I sold it at around 20k, but I didn't realize it would go up this high. So that is something for myself to know next time we have a big patch, which would be 6.3. Now the red Materia 10s are actually staying steady, but not going as high as I thought they would. I think they're gonna go back up a lot higher once we actually get gear to go ahead and melt. So you can go ahead and sell them now. They're of course selling quite well and for quite a bit, but personally I'm going to hold off on my red Materia until I either need them or until melding season comes around. If you went ahead and stocked up on purple Scrip materials, you are also feeling quite good because these went up like crazy. Palm sugar was fully crafted, was sitting at around 600 to 700 gil a stack of 99. Now it's sitting at around 1,000 at highs, at most at 1.6 thousand. So what I went ahead and did is sold half of my palm sugars raw and half of them I crafted into immutable solutions. But it's not just the crafted palm sugar, it is also the palm syrup. If you went ahead and bought these when they were at 200 a piece, you can easily go ahead and make double from what you paid for, since now they are at around 500 to 400 gil a piece. The Psychon material also went up like crazy. This is at around 200 to 300 gil. Now it is staying steady, lows of 500 to at highs of 900. And the Ovabos milk also went up, but not by a ton. It was previously at around 400 to 500 a piece. Now it is around 600 to 700 a piece. Not the biggest jump, but I'm happy that I got all of this before the prices got too expensive, so I can go ahead and sell immutable solutions for a high marked price, but also not having to spend on materials. White Scrip materials also went up like crazy. The Birkanan sap, which is for the one of the most popular white Scrip crafts, has nearly quintupled in price. I was buying Birkanan saps for at most 300 to 400 gil, 200 on a good day. Now it is at 1.8k a piece. And once these 3 sets of 9 sell out, it's going to be at 2.4k a piece. Now, I didn't sell off all of my Birkanan saps. I kept a lot of them because remember, the brand new Masterbook 10 will be buyable with white scripts. Therefore, a lot of people will be scrambling to go ahead and get white Scrip materials. And the light Gerbera is also at the usual price. Usually it would be at around 400 to 300 gil, so this didn't go up like crazy. But the thing that matters here is that there is a ton of people buying a ton at a time. So if you have any retainers that are botanists and you have empty ventures, then I do recommend just going ahead and sending them out at the level, I'm pretty sure 80 venture for light Gerbera. You can go ahead and get 50 and 40 or so minutes. If you send 2 out every hour, you're making easily 50k an hour just from light Gerbera. And since it sells so quickly, you're definitely going to sell everything, or you can use them to go ahead and craft white scripts to go and get those cunning Materia 7s. Now next are trial materials. Now of course we don't know what trial weapons will be this patch. The whole thing is left pretty ambiguous, but I'm still inferring that there will be trial weapons, and as a result, a lot of the trial weapon materials has also went up. Now, I actually have already been selling a lot of my trial materials. I know that I bought these dancing wings when they were at around 300k. If I go ahead and sell them for 400 to 500k, then I'm already making 100k profit per each, and I don't feel as bad. Now, I made sure not to sell all of them. I only sold max 10 of them at a time. So in case they do come out with the dancing wing trial materials, I'll still have plenty and I'll still be making money even if I sell just a few right now. Now, speaking of things that went up in price, I just sold a whole load of fire crystals. For how much, you may ask? We're gonna go ahead and see how much fire crystals have actually went up, which is pretty darn crazy. Fire crystals were at around 30 gil a piece on my server, now 164 a piece. which is ridiculous. Now, that is one mistake I did make. I didn't get enough. I actually had to go and buy them when they were at around 70 gil a piece, but still, now I've actually got enough for myself at 70 gil a piece, and I'm definitely not going to be buying them at 164 gil a piece. But if you have some fire crystals left over at this price, it is hard not to sell. So I did make a 10 gil just from that just now, and I'm going to go ahead and post a bit more. But it's not just fire crystals. All crystals all across the board have went up in price like crazy. So once again, I do recommend, if you're in the middle of a patch, in a lull, please go ahead and stock up on your crystals, because whenever it is around patch day and patch week before patch week anniversary, you're definitely gonna thank yourself, because there is no way in heck that I'm gonna pay 119 a piece. I mean, think about it. A stack of 999, you're already paying almost 10 million in just crystals, when you can go ahead and buy them when they're cheap, but definitely don't buy them right now. Now, let's go ahead and look at what I've actually sold. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and sold a few of my dancing wings. I max only was gonna sell 10 of them, but I ended up selling at around 9, so I didn't sell fully all 10, but I also sold off any materia that I got from crafting while I was crafting purple and white Scrip materials. And I also went ahead and sold some map. Now, it's not the case anymore, but the zoner skin maps were at around 60 to 70k. When I saw that, I was like, okay, get all the zoner skin maps that I do have and I'm gonna post them, which I did go ahead and do right here. Now, I had them all across my retainers, so here's only one on this retainer, and I sold 2 more. But it's so important to be proactive. Check what price is on what, just stuff that you have in your retainers, post it, and it's definitely going to sell, especially when there's a lot of people coming back because of the patch, and especially because everything all across the board has risen in price. Now, because of the system, the way retainers work, I can't go all the way back in my history, but I did go ahead and take some screenshots. Here I sold some buckets of palm syrup for a good price. More of the materials that I get from spirit bonding, a few cunning craftsman's drought, some calamari ripiani, and endstone aether sand. Now, here is my next retainer. Again, I just sold these fire crystals for a heck ton, which I'm so happy I went ahead and bought a ton of fire crystals way beforehand, but again, I could have bought more. Some cunning materia 7s, some gathering materia 10s, again, some more cunning craftsman's drought, and sea swallow skins have also risen in price like crazy. I think I sold these for around 600 to 700-ish gil a piece, which I bought these for around 200 to 300 gil a piece. So again, it is so important to go ahead, go through all your retainers, see what junk you've got, and see if it's viable to sell now. Also, the manganese ingot also went up like crazy. A lot of endwalker based materials went up in price, so I went ahead and sold those as well. And here I sold a ton of palm sugar, some fire shards, not just crystals, but clusters and shards also went up, some immutable solutions, and gathering materia 8s also sold, which is kind of crazy to me. I just had them in my inventory. I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to use them. I'll just throw them up. Sold. And earlier in the month, I was selling my Daviouxx threads, and Sheelite, even right now, is super expensive. So if you do have a bunch of Grand Company seals, that is something viable you can go ahead and sell. Here is my next retainer. Lemonette also went up in price like crazy. I was getting them for around 200 to 300 gil a piece for the Saivon Vanus. Now that they are at around 900 gil, so if you do have some left over, I do recommend going ahead and posting them. Some like Gerbera, again, if you have 2 retainers, getting 100 Gerberas an hour, you're going to go ahead and make 45 gil an hour. Again, some more random materials that I get from spirit bonding, cunning materia 7s, some red materials, and moonlight aether sand. Here is a screenshot of what I sold. A lot of craftsman's 10 command materials, some more cunning 7s, immutable solutions, integral lumber, squirrel glow, aether sand, some Gowerdon materia 7s, and guile materia 7s also went up in price like crazy, and a few more fire shards. Now I will start off with this screenshot: immutable solutions, cunning materia 7s, and a whole lot of them. I was making serious bank off of this. It was insanity. 50 for 500k, a stack of 50 for 500k, a stack of 50 for Immutable Solutions, 307k. Now, this was not even when Immutable Solutions were at its peak. They were still pretty high, but I was already making so much gil. It was kind of crazy. And after these massive profits, I sold out on all the Immutable Solutions I had, all the Materia I had, and I was just posting whatever. A Dancing Wing, Gal Materia 10s, Quicktime Materia 10, some Endwood Aether Sand, another Sonar Skin map, and just gelatin. Because so many people are crafting purple collectibles, they are forgetting that you can just buy this from a vendor. So I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to put in this retainer right now. I'm just going to post some vendor items. And they went ahead and sold. So again, always try and fill up your retainers as much as possible, because there is definitely a ton of ways to go ahead and make money on your downtime. And here is another screenshot, a ton of more crafting materia blues and a bit more of Endwood Aether Sand. Mostly on this character, I racked up all the gil because of materia. So I was very happy I had enough to go ahead and craft materia, cunning materia 7s, and I had plenty of blue materia left over from when I was transmuting. So again, that is how I made the bulk of the money here. And on this retainer, mostly it was just Immutable Solutions over and over and over again. I sold so many of them, and they are still selling quite well, and they are still selling for quite a lot. So I do recommend, if you have nothing to do, just go and craft some purple collectibles. On this retainer, again, I threw up some stuff I had in my inventory, like the Snow White dye, some Ophiutorus leather, but mostly it was the Endstone Aether Sands. The Endstone Aether Sand kind of went down. Now they are at around 1.9k, but they were going for around 2.8k when I was selling them. So I made sure to go ahead, undercut very rigorously on these, post everything that I had, because I bought these at 300 gil a piece. These Aether Sands were dirt cheap. Even if I sell them at 900 a piece, I am still making triple the amount that I had spent on them. So since I had a ton of Endstone, I made sure to go ahead and sell everything that I had, and I was successful in that front. I also sold a bunch of Planarian materials, such as the Perilla Oil, again some more Light Gerbera, the Trophy of Divine Light. A lot of the trophies are also selling quite well, so I did go ahead and craft a few of those. So that sold for 571,000. When the Crystal of Divine Light, I bought them at around 200k a piece, so quite happy with that. What did I actually end up making in total? So as of today, the day before the patch, this is how much I've made: 3.3 million, 9.8 million, 19.2 million, 3.3 million, 7.9 million, and 3.9 million. All in all, I'll put the total on the screen, but I did end up spending around 5 million to catch up on any materials that I was missing, to catch up on any crystals I was missing, and to stock up on a few things that I sold but I ended up needing back. So take out 5 million, and that is how much I made in pure profit. All in all, pretty good, even before the patch has come out at all. So I'm excited to see how much I'll make in 6.2 once it goes live. So now let's go over what I've learned. Number 1, not to sell too early. If I waited just for the last week before the patch, I would have made a lot more. I started selling 3 weeks, 2 weeks before the patch, and while I did make profit, I could have made more profit if I just waited. Now, waiting is risky. I took more of the safety route than risk route. But again, now I feel more comfortable. I know how patches are even better than I have before, and now I understand the week before the patch is when to sell. Now, if you're worried about not being able to sell everything before the patch drops, on Westward, even though the server is not completely super poppin', it does not have a ginormous population as a server on NA, we're definitely gonna sell nearly everything. I'll put a picture of what my stockpile and inventory looked like before I went ahead and started selling, and this is what it looks like after. Things that have not been sold here are purely because I want to keep them, and personally, for the End-Tide Aether Sands, I'm hoping that they're gonna go just a bit more up, but I'm gonna go ahead and post them right now after this video. So I've sold almost everything Anything else that I have here is because I want to keep it and use it myself. So again, I'm not going to worry about whether or not I'll be able to sell it. I'm pretty sure I will, and I will stick to last week of the patch. The second thing I learned is that prices actually start to dip the night before the patch. A lot of the Aether Sand prices went down, specifically on the End Stone and End Wood Aether Sand. Other things have gone up like Materia, but my main takeaway is to not sell too much on the last day before the patch and try and sell everything right before that. For the third thing that I forgot to do, I should have went and bought some more trial weapon adjacent materials. What do I mean by that? Well, if there's going to be a Titania weapon, it's going to be using Shadowbringer's ingots and materials, which I did not go ahead and stockpile. I remember when the brand new Shinryu trial weapons came out, the Stormblood ingots went up in price like crazy from the average of 1k a piece to selling at 13k a piece just that day. So I do need to go ahead and stockpile on them just a few right now, just in case we do get those trial weapons from Shadowbringers. Number 4, there was more I could have gotten. All the Endwalker base materials went up, ingots, culinarian items, ore, and so on and so forth all went up like crazy. I went ahead and sold what was in my retainers, but if I went ahead and bought some before the craze started, I would have made a lot more. And the last mistake I made was not getting enough crystals. I knew they would go up, but I didn't know they would go up this high. And I ran out of crystals mid-craft, so I knew I had to go buy a few more at a little bit more than I would have liked to pay for. So again, make sure that you do stock up on crystals because they are definitely gonna go up with each major patch. So that is everything that I've made, everything that I've learned, and hopefully we can continue to make mad profits well into 6.2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, my anniversary live stream will be on GMT+3 5 p.m. on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to come hang out or join the giveaway, I would love to see you there. And of course, thank you to my YouTube members, Twitch subs, and Discord boosters. You all keep the channel going. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and I would hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!